It's just Candyland. How hard can it be?
Defeat.
Turns out, it can be as hard as I suck. Lollipops.
Luck is really interesting. It is used to describe truly random things as well as things that are just simply out of our control. We've all had that one game where your teammate is just throwing.
I think you've all had that one game of Mario Kart where we were winning up until a blue shell, 3 red shells, a random green shell, Flight 370, and a rod from God decided that you're getting 6th today.
Now, was I really just unlucky, or was it the fact that I've been playing this game so often that it would be unlikely for it to not happen? So is it fair that those things happened?
Not in a court of law.
I mean, how many times have you been in a game where the enemy team had someone who was just running down main and inting? I'm sure you've had it happen even if you don't remember it. How many times have you won a Mario Kart race because you were in second when first got sniped by a blue shell?
For me, never, but that's because I'm always the one in first. Getting fucked.
So what makes that feel so unfair when compared to games like Minecraft where every world is unique and new and different? What makes that feel fair? So clearly luck, or more accurately RNG, is not innately a bad thing. So what makes it feel so unfair, and how can I be more lucky? The first example of unnecessary luck I think of in games is RNG on whether your first shot will hit. If a game gives you a percentage chance of hitting, let's say 95%, you will be pretty certain you will hit the shot. But if you have a 95% chance to hit, and you take 20 shots in a row, you are almost guaranteed to miss one. If a game for some reason decided to have the first shot fired be RNG based, even while you're standing still and ADSing, there is no way that game would be viewed as the most active and competitive esport.
Valorant's behind me, isn't it?
This is just fucking stupid, and why I don't play the game. I had a string of like 2 or 3 misses on my first shot, and I swore off the game entirely. And the anti-cheat also actively corrupted my Windows install, and made it so I couldn't run any game other than Minecraft for longer than 30 minutes for like 6 months. I don't even know how the fuck that happened. But it fixed itself when I reinstalled Windows, so fuck that game. Was that an unlucky situation? Yes. Is it possible when you have a kernel level anti-cheat? Of fucking course. There are just some places where RNG should not be in games. Also, if you don't realize how bad that first shot RNG is, it's a 1 in 20 chance you will fail. So if a game goes its full duration, you are almost guaranteed to have missed one of your first shots. But this isn't about me bitching about a game I haven't played in years, this is instead about how to feel more lucky. Because a large part of luck is both perception, and that humans aren't really built to understand statistics. So how do you deal with games being luck-based and unfair?
Allow me to introduce you to my good old friend. Addiction.
The main thing is you really can't change how truly random systems will treat you. However, you can mitigate how they affect you and change your view when they affect you. A large issue when researching this is that I can't innately validate the claims, as they are, well, innately luck-based. Most of what I did find is just based on a small set of researchers. You'll notice as I go on about these articles that they can get increasingly insane. Why this Guardian article is tied to politics I couldn't fucking tell you, but it put forward the idea that if you had a good luck charm or something that otherwise you believed would help you perform better, you would perform better. Even if the good luck charm was just a random object the researcher told you was lucky. My read on this. If there is no way to know whether your shot missed because of bad luck or missed because you are bad, you are more likely to attribute it to the game being shit and deciding RNG is a good idea in a tactical shooter, as opposed to you having just bad aim. So believing that you'll hit the shot because you have a good luck charm that says you will hit it, will make you much more confident that it will work out. It results in you being much more confident in your plays. General confidence can be the biggest factor in whether or not you have better luck. Sure, it won't make you any more likely to win it big at the casino.
Shit, I already put it all in black.
Defeat.
Shit.
But being confident that you will win will make you not only more consistent outside of luck, making the luck less of a factor, but also better in games overall, as I will likely talk about in the future set of ramblings. Another way to better deal with shit luck is to just plan for both. For example, if I'm in first in Mario Kart and I get a banana, I hold on to it. If I get a first place horn, I praise every holy object within a 5-mile radius. And if I get a gold coin, I pray to everything that is holy that a red shell isn't nabbed in second place.
And if there is a red shell gone in second place, I order 2 one-way tickets to Yellowstone National Park, and from there I'll order a one-way ticket to Enumclaw, Washington, because you bullshit
Where was I? Oh, not only does planning allow you to immediately know what you should do if things go poorly, it also allows you to capitalize on something rare going in your favor. Another way to improve maybe not luck, but the odds of something unique happening to you, is to just do things differently each time. You won't get into many funny interactions in chat if you aren't actively in the text or voice chat of a game. You won't run into one of your friends in a match if you always play at the same time, and those times don't overlap. And the last way to deal with truly random experiences is to just realize that you will fail sometimes and accept that failure and move on. And just keep trying. Your teammates were shit that game. Don't let it affect your next game and queue again. You'll get better ones next time. So now for less random luck, but things that are still out of your control. I would like to read a section I read in an article during research.
It said, and I quote, "In one test, Richard gave teachers a list of late bloomers who as a result would be slow to learn. The teachers treated the students differently and as a result, the students did poorly." How the fuck does that test luck?
Now this article is, from what I can tell, based off of a book and could have been poorly explained. But that is fucking insane! That this study just actively fucking harms students' performance and potential long-term development to test the study of luck. Unethical testing aside, things that are out of your control like teammates or the enemy team or the way that the deck is stacked in a game of cards are all out of your control. If you made a good play but the enemy Roadhog took Adderall that morning and flicks to you and hooks you out of it, it sucks, but ultimately it was still a good play. You just can't reasonably predict that the enemy will hit you in that one frame of vulnerability in a Masters lobby. Things that are out of your control require nuance, because that play could have been bad, but it could have been a great play. That's why if your goal is to get better at a competitive game, you should look at replays and see how you performed and use the information to decide whether it was a good play, but bad luck, or just a bad play. They played better, or misused a prescription drug better. But regardless on whether or not you can learn something from that encounter, the most important part is that after that encounter, you don't get mad, but instead use that to motivate you to kick that ADHD medicine abuser's ass, because controlling luck is just as much about being lucky as it is controlling your response to good or bad situations. Another form of indirect luck is a system I would really like games to use more often. You can make something pseudo-random. Through, instead of using dice, you draw cards. Or in a digital space, instead of picking what items drop as soon as an enemy is killed, you instead generate a list of 100 slots or however many is necessary and fill it out with all the possible drops. That way you can guarantee that the 1% drop will drop to everyone, whether or not it's on their first drop or on the 100th, but no matter what, it cannot take an theoretically infinite amount of time. The alternative is a mercy system, which many games already implement, where the item will just drop if it's been long enough, or more often if you spend enough money, where the game will give it to you so they don't catch an anti-gambling lawsuit. The other benefit is that if this game is used in a way that interacts with multiple players, you make it so a skilled player can use effectively a simplified form of card counting to keep track of what is most likely to have happened, or what will happen. This sort of system leads to a luck system feeling more fair to players. Another way to do so is to make the luck affect everyone else equally. Instead of each player getting a unique set of items at random, you instead let them choose where they want to get their random items from in a randomly generated world. The most important part of making luck feel fun and feel more fair is just understanding that luck, if added into a game, should change how you play. It should not change whether you can actually play the game. Because playing a game where I cannot progress or my progress is massively reduced until I get a random item drop can be a real pain in the ass. When possible, luck should not take the place of skill. While if possible, luck should be used to add variance that keeps the game fair and interesting. And sure, luck has its place in games like Mario Party. It needs to feel unfair. That is the goal of the game. It's a party game after all.
Just like Candyland. Fuck Candyland.
There is no way to change how luck is, but you can change your perception of luck or generally mitigate its effects on your life. And if you're working on a game for the love of God, consider whether or not luck is necessary in this place, or whether it can be handled in a different way.
I think I finally understand how to mitigate luck in this piece of shit game Candyland. I cheat. Maybe the only winning move is not to play.